Alright, so there's a lot of sales training that goes on when you get into the car business. As I mentioned in the previous video, before my interview even started, I had a sales guy that sat down and showed me how to use the CRM, the Customer Relationship Management tool. He showed me how to go through, make profiles for customers so you can keep notes, so you can put phone numbers in. And that stuff's pretty important. It's a good way to make sure that you're following up with your customers, you can provide a good experience, get them the information they need, and then you don't forget people. You might talk to anywhere from 100 or 150 new people every single month. So it's hard to keep track of what you said, who you talked to, what type of car they're interested in. And the sales training that you do is actually pretty extensive as well. When they go in and you start with a new brand, typically the brand's going to have an online resource that has videos and information about the cars. For me, it took me about 12 hours. Some people it takes a couple days. Some people are a little bit faster. And yeah, you go through and you look at what makes the brand different. You look at what features are on each car. You have to know your trim levels. And with that knowledge, it allows you to help the customers out to slim down what they need to look at. So after you learn all you can about the cars, as quickly as you can, which it will still take a couple months, you figure out, there's certain questions that you get asked. When I work for Subaru, for example, you get asked, what's the all-wheel drive? Is it always on? What makes it different? What's the difference between a Forester and an Outback? There's a lot of questions that you'll learn that you learn the answers to just to know off the cuff. And then a lot of the important stuff gets taught to you from your management. So good management is something that is really, really important. I've seen stores where they just throw the salespeople out there and they say, oh yeah, go learn it. Or ones where you're basically completely taught from the other salespeople. So you go shadow this person and watch what they do and do that. I got lucky and I actually got trained from my boss directly. He actually sat me down with a bunch of literature. He went through and made sure I test drove all the cars, that I went out and I did these tests that he made to figure out the difference between trim levels and everything. He was really good at making sure that his sales guys knew their information, that they provided good customer service, and that they weren't just some guy out there saying, oh yeah, this car is cool, why don't you buy this one? One of the pieces of literature that he went over was the 5 steps to a sale. So there's meet and greet, qualify, product presentation, test drive, and then transition to numbers. And so the meet and greet, you go out, you talk to a customer, you say, hi Mr. Customer, welcome to blah 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 dealership, how may I help you? And then there's the second step. You go through and you qualify. You ask, oh, have you ever driven this brand of vehicle before? What type of car do you have right now? How do you like that car? Was there any features that are in that car that you want in your new one? What type of stuff are you looking for in your new car? And you kind of get an idea with that on what stuff they want in their car. So you can choose a car that fits their needs. Because no one's going to buy something that they don't like. No one's going to buy something that is something that's not going to fit their needs. If you have a customer that's looking for a pickup truck, for example, they're not going to go buy a Honda Civic. That's not something that's reasonable. You can't expect to try to do something. You could be the best salesperson in the world. The person's just going to think you're a jerk and you don't know what you're talking about. So the third one is product presentation. And this is one that a lot of sales guys don't actually do. A lot of people don't build value in their brand. They don't say, hey, look at this car. They just go, oh, you want to drive this car? Cool, do you like it? Product presentation is key. Like I said, I worked for Subaru, so we have a couple things that really set us apart, such as our all-wheel drive, our safety ratings, our resale value, our boxer engine. There are things that you can rattle off, and those are things that you should go around the car. You show them the features, you show them why this car fits their needs that they provided to you when you qualified them. And then, of course, once they go, oh yeah, I like this car, can I drive it? Or sometimes they don't ask. You do have to ask them sometimes and be like, hey, do you want to drive this car? Then you go on a test drive and you make sure it feels like something that they'd want. Because a lot of what they do in the car business is make you feel like this is something that you want. You try to sell the sizzle, not the steak, is what has been repeated to me over and over again. So the feeling of the car is really important. You test drive and you come back and you say, all right, did you like how the car drove? Do you like the color? Do you think this feature set is what you'd be looking for? 3 questions. You usually try to ask 3 questions that you know the answer is going to be yes to. And then the next question is more likely to be yes. And the next question is, would you like to see what it would take to purchase this vehicle? Now that's kind of a hard close. You can say, would you like to see some numbers in the vehicle? And you walk them inside. And then that's where all the negotiation happens. That's where you have all the stuff that is kind of convoluted. People don't quite know what to think about it. But those are the 5 basic steps to a sale, and any good salesman is going to pretty much follow those. And you can skip around a little bit, but that's pretty much what you're looking at when you walk into a car dealership. Those are the things that they're going to try to walk you through and get you towards buying a car that day. The sales training is really interesting, and I think I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about sales training. There's a lot of stuff that they tell you to do. There's a lot of stuff that they tell you not to do. And some of that stuff is probably interesting for someone that's not in the car business. So, thank you.